horizontal projection. Okay, body projected horizontally with an angle theta with the horizontal. So the horizontal velocity remains constant throughout its journey, but the vertical velocity goes on changes because of the acceleration due to gravity acting on the body. The vertical displacement, what happens? The vertical displacement goes on changes. There is a change in the vertical displacement, but the horizontal component goes on constant throughout its journey. So morning we have seen it. Yes, in the previous class. So that concept, based on that concept, we have some applications. That applications, let us see now. First application based on the concept of the horizontal projection. Okay. Here one application I have given here. Ball rolled on the staircase. Ball rolled on the staircase. Okay. Now let us see the diagram here. A ball is projected horizontally from the top of the staircase. A ball is projected from the top of the staircase. It has n number of steps. It has n number of steps. So the horizontal velocity of the ball remains constant. It comes like a parabola path. It comes like a parabola path and hits on the nth step. It hits on the nth step. So let us see how they are. So here I am taking the width of the first step is B1. The width of the first step is B1. The width area of the second step is B2. Width area of the third step is B3. When we step on the stairs, that is the width area. Okay, I am taking as B3. That is the fourth width step, fifth one, sixth one. Like that we have n number of width areas are there. So here the first width area is been taken by the height h1. So here it is h1 height. Here second height. Here third height. Here fourth height. Here fifth height. Like that we have taken nth height. Yes. So every step has a width area as well as height. It has width area and height. So the first height I am taking as h1. Second height I am taking as h2. So this is the third height. This is the fourth height. This is the fifth height. Like that we have nth height. The down one, whichever we are taking as a nth height. And it has every height of that step has a base area. So that taken as a width area B1, second width area, third width area. Like that we have nth width area. So that is n of B. N times of the width of the base area. Okay. Now a ball is projected horizontally from the first step. So that it has been taken the path like a parabola and reaches to the. It may fall on any step. It may fall on the first step where it hits the staircase. We have to calculate the first step where it hits the staircase. We have to calculate. So based on the horizontal projection which we have seen that in the previous class, based on the equations only we have to check the on which step it will hit first on the staircase. Let us calculate that. Okay. Now I am taking this first height, second height, third height, fourth height, nth height. So nth height means what? Total distance is along the y direction. Total distance, the height of that staircase is n times of the h. The height of the vertical direction, the height is being considered as n times of the total height. So n number of heights. So in the horizontal distance, if you consider the horizontal, first base area, second base area, third base area, like that nth base area. So starting from here, first base area to nth base area, it is a total distance. That is a horizontal range. That is the horizontal range. We have horizontal range. So that is taken along the x-axis. That is the horizontal range is equal to n of b. It is n times of the width area. N times of the width area. Starting from the first area, second area, third width area, fourth width area. So if you take up to the n, it is x is equal to the horizontal distance is n times of the width area. So we have known the y distance and x distance. That is given. Okay. Yes, we have known that x is equal to n times of the width area and y is equal to n times of the height. n times of the height. So that is the total height, n number of times. That is the width area, n number of times. So based on that x and y, we have seen the horizontal projection. X direction is equal to horizontal velocity into total time taken. Horizontal velocity. Horizontal velocity is always remains constant along the x direction. Horizontal direction, which we are giving the horizontal direction to it. So initially when the horizontal direction is given, when theta is equal to 0, at that angle, when there is no angle component, at that moment there is no vertical velocity. The vertical velocity is 0, because the angle is itself is 0 with the horizontal. The body is initially projected. We are shooting the body in the horizontal direction. So the horizontal direction is constant. But whereas in the case of theta is equal to 0, the vertical velocity, initial velocity is 0. There is no initial velocity. The initial component velocity is 0. So initial velocity along the y direction is taken as 0 at the starting point, at the start of the body. It has only horizontal velocity. That horizontal velocity remains constant total along the time of flight. Along the time of flight, horizontal component is constant. So initially the vertical velocity is 0. Then the vertical velocity goes on changes. It goes on increases because of the gravitational pull over the body. Okay. So we have to take that. So we have x is equal to nb, y is equal to nh times. Okay. X direction is equal to here horizontal velocity into time, total time. Then from the time equation, t is equal to x by v, x by u. It is x by u. Make it as an equation 1. The time of flight is equal to x by u. The distance traveled by the body, its velocity. Time of flight. Time is equal to distance by velocity. From that also we can write like that. Time is equal to distance upon velocity is called time. So total time taken by the body is total distance traveled by the body with its velocity. That's total velocity. That is initial velocity. Now along the x direction. This is x direction. Okay. So now y direction. When we take the y direction, here we have taken the y distance. That is the y distance traveled by the body. Y is equal to s is equal to ut plus half a d square. You take in this relation also s is equal to ut plus half a d square. But here there is no acceleration due to gravity. The acceleration due to gravity acting along the x-axis is 0. There is no. That is why in the case of that s is equal to ut plus half a t square in this relation, here the acceleration is 0. The acceleration is 0. So the displacement along the x direction is what? Horizontal distance into time, total time. Horizontal distance into total time. So we are considering only this part, and this part is completely 0 along the x direction. The acceleration is 0 along the x direction. Okay. So now let us take in the y direction. S is equal to ut plus half a t square. In this the initial velocity along the y direction is 0. The initial velocity along the y direction is 0. So 0 into time is 0. Half g, it is falling down. So it is taken as plus g. T square, that is total time. Total time we are taking as. So here half g. What is the value of t here from according to equation x by u? It is x by u. T is equal to x by u. So in the place of t, we will write x by u square. X by u square. Now when you take this equation, y is equal to what we have written here. What is the y distance? What is the y displacement of that body? So y is equal to n times of the total height. First height, second height, third height, n number of times. So y is equal to n times of the total height. That is, in the place of y, we will write as n times of the height is equal to half g. Here, what is x here? In the place of that horizontal distance is equal to what here? Is n times of the width area of each step. So n steps are there. So n times of the width area. So x value can be written as n into b. X value can be written as n into b by u whole square. Upon that whole square we have written. So n times of the total height is equal to half g. X means n times of the width area by u whole square. T is here. Okay, according to the square we got it. Now this relation, if you observe that, if you nh is equal to half g n square b square. So I have written n square b square. So here if I split that square here, n square b square by u square. So here n and n square get cancelled here. 1 square and here n get cancelled on either sides of that equation. Then if you wanted to know initial velocity, this should be separated. Yes, h will come to denominator and u square goes to numerator. So we can have the initial velocity. We can get the initial velocity from this relation. Or if you wanted to know on which step it will hit first, on which step the ball will hit first. So then n should be separated from this equation. So if you separate this n here, this u square goes to numerator, h upon h into u square. So it is 2 goes to numerator, 2h by u square, 2h by u square, and this b square comes to denominator along with g. So all the numerator terms to the right side, to my left hand side will come to the denominator of the left hand side, and all the denominator on the right hand side goes to the numerator on the left hand side, just interchanging that. So the required part, what we want, n stands for what, on which step the ball going to hit first. Okay, on which step the ball going to hit first gives the nth value. So if you separate the n value here, this 2u square goes to numerator, so that is 2hu square by denominator means gb square, gb square. So this is the relation. If you put it in the proper order, proper way, we have that n is equal to 2h by g, u square by b square, or whole u by b whole square. N is equal to 2h by g, u square by b square, or you can write it as a whole u by b whole square. So n stands for the step on which the ball hits first. Okay, by knowing the other factors, if you know the h value, if you know the g value, if you know the initial velocity along the x component that remains constant, and if you know the width of that, you can easily calculate the on which step the ball is going to hit. Okay, make a note of it. Okay children, now let us see the next concept here. That is a very interesting concept here. Here from the top of a tower, a stone is horizontally projected. A stone is projected horizontally and it reaches to the ground. It hits the ground with the initial velocity. Let us take u1 is the initial velocity. Okay, at an angle theta. From the other side, at the same time, another stone is projected and it falls to the ground to the other side. It hits the ground with an initial velocity u2 with an angle theta with the horizontal. Now h is the height of the tower. Let us say s is equal to h is the height of the tower. From the same tower, two bodies are projected, one to the left side, another to the right side, with an initial velocity u1 with an initial velocity u2. So in the same time they reaches to the ground. The time taken to reach to the ground is the same time because the height is same. When they have been thrown from the same height, they reaches to the ground at the same time. Now what is the separation of the stones? How far they are to each other? How far they are to each other? So here I am taking for the first horizontal velocity, the horizontal range is x1 up to here, and for the second horizontal velocity, the horizontal distance traveled by the body from the point of origin of throwing is x2. So here it is. Now we know that horizontal velocity, for that horizontal velocity is how much? Here it is, horizontal velocity is equal to x1 is equal to horizontal range is equal to horizontal velocity into total time. Okay, range is equal to horizontal velocity into time, u1 into time of flight. That is the total time taken to reach to the ground. The total time taken to reach to the ground is t. Now make it as first equation. Now second range is x2 is equal to, it is u2 into same time because the height is same for both the stones. When they have been projecting on either sides from the same tower, the time taken for both the stones to reach to the ground is same. So make it as equation 2. Now if you wanted to calculate the time of flight on both sides, if you wanted to calculate the time of flight is equal to, we have to calculate the time of flight. So here the initial velocity we are taking as the total distance is s. When they are falling down, the acceleration is plus g. The acceleration is plus g. So here given, here s is equal to h, height of the tower. S is equal to h, height of the tower. So initially in the vertical direction, initial velocity in the vertical direction is how much? Initial velocity in the vertical direction is 0. There is no velocity in the vertical direction. Only horizontal velocity will be there. Okay. Initial velocity along the vertical direction is 0. Time is equal to what? Time of flight. Total time taken by the body to reach the ground. Time of flight. Now, if you take the relation A is equal to plus G, A is equal to plus G, it is coming down. So, if you take the relation S is equal to ut plus half at square, ut plus half at square. What is S value? H. In the y direction. Initial velocity in the y direction is 0 plus half G t square means capital T, total time taken. If you wanted to know the total time, so the total time can be taken as T square is equal to 2 goes to numerator 2h. It is 2h by G comes to denominator. G comes to denominator. If you remove the squaring on both sides, it is under root of 2h by G. It is under root of 2h by G. So we have under root of 2h by G. So taking that separation, what is the separation between these two stones? From here to here, we wanted to calculate the separation of the two stones. From here to here or here to here, what is the separation? So the separation of the two stones is equal to separation between the two stones. What is the separation between the two? Just add up this equation. So here x1 plus x2. x1 plus x2. In this, what is common term here? T is common. When you add these two equations, T is common. So take T common. And T common, it is u1 plus u2. u1 plus u2. Then x1 plus x2 is equal to, what is T here from this relation? Total time. Time of flight for the two stones is same. It is common. So T is equal to under root of 2h by g. So T is equal to under root of 2h by g into u1 plus u2. So this formula will help you to know the separation of the two stones. So from one stone to another stone, how much it is separated. So the separation of the two stones can be calculated by using this formula. So when you know the horizontal velocities on either sides, if you know the horizontal velocities on either sides, and if you know the height of the tower, and then you can easily calculate the horizontal velocity on either sides, and if you add up, you will know the separation of the two stones. So this formula will help you to calculate the separation of the two stones.